Erika Kirk is Kim Kardashian. Now, wait. I thought about this very, very carefully. It's been driving me nuts. Why are we... What is it? What is it about... I don't know. What is it about Erika Kirk that we keep talking about? What is it? What? I don't understand it. Oh, she's phony. She's fake. Oh, this and that with the tears. But we watch her. What is it? And then I realized it's Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian, when we first saw her, he said, what the hell is this? Who is this? What does she do? What is this? Who in the hell is Kim Kardashian? Now, not me, mind you, but a lot of people just became transfixed by her, fixated, obsessed, and you don't know why. It's like did you ever get the piece of skin, like a cuticle? It's like, it hurts, and you keep, and you quit pulling it. I can't help it. Or that piece of skin in your mouth, and you bite on it, and it hurts, but you keep doing it because you're a masochist or something. That's it. Why are we killing ourselves? What is the draw? What is the allure, the siren call of Erika Kirk? Because there's something almost archetypal or archetypical, like I'd say, about the way a figure like Erika Kirk captures our attention. How does this work? It's not just her as an individual. I'm not based on it, but it's about what she represents, what people project onto her, what they see her, and how she seems to trigger everything, every interstitial portion of our collective psyche. And when someone becomes this polarizing, this dissect, and by the way, I think it's only from our point of view, because I think the people who are so much they support her. Oh, she's a widow, and she is, and she, don't ever forget that. But those people who say this, they don't really mean it. They're saying that just to shut up Candace Owens or you or me. Deep down inside, they don't lose any sleep over Erika Kirk. We do. Well, we don't lose sleep, but we think about her. We talk about her because we can't believe it. We want to say, are you people seeing this? She's feldspar or fool's gold or whatever the hell, pyrite or whatever that word is. She's phony, she's fugazi, she's counterfeit. Don't you people see this? Most people say, yeah, okay, maybe. They don't get it. They don't get it. You're no longer looking at a person. You're looking at a phenomenon. I can't believe it. But now someone or something else has happened. She's crossed into a different category altogether, and I haven't been able to figure out what it is. She's become, in a strange and almost paradoxical way, I'm telling you, she's like Kim Kardashian. I know that sounds crazy. I know you're laughing, because people love to say, "Who cares? Kim Kardashian is a genius." Kim Kardashian put together I don't know what with her sisters and that mother of hers. I don't know what the hell she is, what she did, why people watch her, but she's a genius. She's Kim Kardashian, not in the superficial sense, not in the obvious branding or the glamour, but in the deeper psychological sense of being someone that we can't quite define yet can't ignore. Does that make any sense? We're addicted to nothing. The difference is that Kim Kardashian is a masterclass in constructed clarity, this engineered something or other. Don't forget who sprung into action when Mama sold a porn video of her. All right? This is kind of where this goes. Erika Kirk appears to operate in ambiguity. And that ambiguity is the gasoline of this. I have spent so many, not hours. Don't take this the wrong way. Don't think I've been waiting hours. But there's so many different things I was looking at. I've spent so much time trying to figure out what it is exactly about her that I find so interesting. And I think it's because of the fact that it's one of those things. She's one of those things. She's like the pet rock. She's like the pet rock that people all of a sudden were buying, and you're saying, what are you doing? Well, it became a fad. When we first saw When we first saw Erica, I remember I did. I really became aware of her. It was at the funeral, or it's when she was seen laying across Charlie, and looking at this. I guess being a part of this. What's the word? She sold this story, this idea. I mean, I couldn't believe what she was doing. She was actually, in a very, very weird way, she was showing people how she was going to, I'm going to say this, and don't, you're going to get upset, milking this for all it was worth. I never saw anything like this in my life. I'm just looking at these various iterations, these pictures I used to keep. Not keep, but I kept like in a file section. And I remember at the time watching this, I'm thinking, I can't believe this. And everybody I've ever showed this to, everybody I've ever said, look at this. People are shocked. How can you do this? How could anybody in their right mind sell out, in essence, or use their family this way, and just blatantly sell this story? It's Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian does it. Kim Kardashian does it. They are so good at what they do, and they do it deliberately. But what Erica is doing, and the difference is this, and I will try to tell you this much. Kim Kardashian knows she's Kim Kardashian. Whether she's trying to become a lawyer, whether she's with her sisters or whatever the hell she is, she knows she's Kim Kardashian. Erica doesn't know she's Erica Kirk. Or she thinks that this Erica Kirk that she is different. It's hard to explain, to put into words. It's this weird kind of a strange thing. She doesn't understand the way we see her. And she doesn't understand. She takes great umbrage over the fact that somebody might mock her. Kim Kardashian knows this. But when the whole Drewski thing came out, she didn't know what to do. She couldn't believe it. I think one reason is she thought maybe people actually think she looks like that. Nobody thinks she looks like Drewski. But the point is, that affected her. But in the deeper psychological sense of what we're seeing, she is someone that we can't quite define, but we can't ignore. And again, the difference between Kim Kardashian is, again, this construed image, this engineered whatever it is. But Erica is she's a synthetic real McCoy. She really believes she's what she pretends to be. And like I said, she appears in ambiguity, and that is what's so addictive. Start with this. Start with the idea that humans are deeply uncomfortable with not being able to solve someone. It's part of who we are. It's this thing, and it's a survival thing. If you can't figure out whether something is predator or prey, you got a problem. When a public figure that we pride ourselves in thinking that we understand, when a public figure presents inconsistencies or contradictions or gaps in clarity, the mind goes to work, double time. We are pattern-seeking creatures. If something doesn't add up, if something doesn't make sense, we keep returning to it, trying to reconcile the mismatch. That alone can create fascination. At least for me it does. Not because the person is necessarily deceptive or, duplicitous, but because they're unresolved, or our inability to read them. Now add a second layer, multiple layers. We live in a time where so much of public life feels curated and polished and managed and choreographed. Personas are tested and they're filtered and they're optimized. And then along comes someone who doesn't seem to follow that script, or at least appears not to care. And whether that's real or perceived almost doesn't matter. The effect is the same. It feels unpredictable. And unpredictability, I'm telling you, is addictive. That's the draw. There's also what some psychologists refer to as cognitive dissonance attraction. It's a very interesting concept. But it means that when someone presents one version of themselves and then slips, even subtly, into another, it creates tension. You're saying, wait, did you catch that? That tension pulls people in. The audience feels like they're witnessing something. It's a weird way. It's almost like, Dynasty, Falcon Crest, Knots Landing. I'm dating myself. But there's something wonderfully beautiful. It's unscripted. It's something almost accidental, something revealing. It gives the illusion, or presents the illusion of access to this real person, or the real person that you believe is real, behind the image, behind the mirage, behind the simulacrum, so to speak. But here's where it becomes even more interesting, if that's possible. The fascination is not just about her. It's not about Erica. It's about us. See, we're drawn to things we can't really explain. And there's something deeply human about attaching ourselves to a mystery. We replay clips. We analyze tone and sincerity. And we argue about intent. And not because we necessarily care about the answer one way or the other, but because the process itself is so engaging. And that's the addictive part of it. It gives us structure to add to our curiosity. Now, we're talking about this. There's this idea of loving to catch her mid-sentence. You know what I mean? Of identifying what appears to be, I guess, Erica in an inconsistency or even fraudulence or something. That impulse of ours taps into something primal, that gotcha moment. It's almost a version of the epiphany moment, but it's a gotcha. We figured it out. It's why we like mysteries. The sense of catching someone others might miss. And and by the way, we never felt this way with Kim Kardashian. The only Kardashian connection, just to clarify, is the fact that she was this person who came out of nowhere and people started talking about it. Erica actually has achieved her goal. Maybe not the way she wanted it, but she has. All of this creates a feeling of control on our part, of clarity, when we're able to figure something out. And sometimes it feels chaotic. And it's less about her being wrong and more about us feeling, right, if that makes any sense. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Now, at the same time, concomitantly, there is an almost undeniable, speaking of archetype, an archetype at play. The enigmatic woman. This is not new. From classic television dramas to modern media, audiences have always been drawn to women who are composed yet unpredictable. And unpredictable because maybe there's insanity behind this. Confident yet opaque. Think of the lineage from Dynasty to Falcon Crest. These figures were not meant to be fully understood. No, they were meant to be watched and admired and debated and interpreted. And what drew you to them is the fact that they were dangerous. And believe it or not, Erica Kirk is dangerous. Especially when she looks through those eyes. Kim Kardashian has that flat affect, but Erica has those eyes. And what makes this moment different is amplification. You see, every gesture, every pause, every gesticulation, everything, this clipped and redistributed, these micro expressions, all of this becomes evidence. Tone becomes testimony. And entire narratives are built from little fragments and orts and little mosaic tiles of this. In that moment, in that environment, a person doesn't just exist. They are continuously reconstructed by the audience and reinterpreted by our version of what we see. And then there's the comparison again to Kim Kardashian, which is more revealing than it may first appear. Kim Kardashian represents a kind of like the perfect modern plastic celebrity, the Rula Lenska of her times. Ask your parents. She's both hyper-visible and tightly controlled. She doesn't say anything. She doesn't do anything. She just keeps showing up. Her brand is the clarity of her vacuity. You know what you're getting, even if it's manufactured. She doesn't really do anything, doesn't say anything. She's just there. But she's been there for how many years? How many decades? Erica Kirk, by contrast, represents something far less stable, if you can believe that. She feels like a moving target. And that's the difference. And that difference, by the way, is everything. Because here's the thing. When something is clear, when there's clarity, limpidity, pellucidity, you eventually move on. When something is unclear, you stay, you revisit, you reanalyze, you re-question, you circle back, you speculate. The lack of resolution becomes the hook. That becomes the hook. It's the most fascinating thing in the world. I have been thinking about this for the longest time because I'm wondering, what is it? I know some people who do some wonderful spots, some wonderful pieces on their YouTube channels where they analyze everything to the point of it's glorious. It is a dissection the likes of which we never thought possible. By the way, there's also the possibility that she is far more complex and more intelligent than she's given credit for. This is Erica. And I think, but not for reasons you might think. And that might appear to be inconsistent, but it, in fact, maybe is a different form of communication style. Maybe it's a layered presentation that doesn't translate immediately or cleanly through the filter or the prism of modern media. Whatever you want to call it. When audiences sense depth but can't fully access it, fascination intensifies. And we are fascinated. Be honest. It becomes a puzzle. She's interesting. And of course, there's a risk in all of this, a big risk, of course, to your sanity and well-being. But public figures can become flattened into symbols. And every action is interpreted through a kind of a pre-existing, narrative. If Erica, for whatever reason, is perceived as insincere, then sincerity may go unnoticed. If she is seen as complex, then even simplicity may be overanalyzed. You see what I mean? The person that we're looking at becomes secondary to the story being told about and around them. And that raises the question of fairness. Are we observing or are we constructing or deconstructing? Are we responding to what is actually there, what is actually presented in front of us? Or is it something else? Is it what we expect to find? Are we being fair? And I think fairness is a good question. And on a deeper level, figures like Erica Kirk function kind of as mirrors. And they reflect our own preoccupations, our own skepticism about authenticity, our appetite for contradiction, our desire to decode, to expose, to synthesize and analyze, to understand, to digest. She becomes a canvas onto which these impulses are projected. You never knew this, did you? You never thought about this, but it's true. In the end, the fascination is not reducible to one explanation. It is not simply that she is fake or real or complicated. Nay. It is that she resists being reduced at all. And in a culture that demands quick labels and instant clarity, that resistance that I speak of becomes magnetic. Remember, I think if you look at it very carefully, we are not drawn just to who she is, Erica, but in fact, we can't quite say who she is. We're not really sure which iteration, which version. And maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the point of all of this. All I'm saying is that if you stop and look at what we have done for the longest time, we are fascinated by this woman named Erica. We're fascinated. What is it about her? She's a phony, right? She can't mean this, right? Which one? She's a liar. She's a phony. She's mendacious. She's a liar, right? But she's talented. She has a talent. And you know what that talent is? To drive you